Joining us now from Atlanta, senior advisor to the Harris campaign, and former mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms. Keisha, it's always a pleasure to see you. These first day early voting numbers are just huge. What do you make of them?
It's very exciting. It is the momentum that we want and we need going into early voting. And I am glad to see that people are turning out, but I also want to remind people in Georgia, we've seen high numbers before on our side, only to be overtaken on election day. So it's important that we keep these numbers high. But I'm just reminded of the words of our Congressman, John Lewis, who said our vote is the most powerful weapon that we have. And people recognize what's at stake in this country and the role that Georgia will play this election cycle.
And that judge in Georgia that blocked yesterday an order that would have required election officials to hand count ballots on Election Day, what exactly is that and what's your reaction to it?
Well, you have to remember back in 2020, we had nearly 5 million people to vote in the state of Georgia. Record turnout then. And of course, we see that those numbers are likely to be higher. So the thought that election workers would have to hand count ballots is pretty absurd. But that's what we've been getting from the state election board that's gone rogue. And what's interesting, Jose, is that even in Georgia, we've had our Republican governor, secretary of state, and attorney general, and the chair of the state election board say that this board has gone too far. So we've had the courts to step in. And also Judge McBurney, who has made some decisions related to this election. I'd like to remind people that he was appointed by a Republican governor in the state, Nathan Deal. So once again, I'm very proud to see that in Georgia, people are stepping up and trying to do the right thing as it relates to us having a free and fair election. And it's unfortunate that the courts have had to step in, but this is last minute interference. And it's all about Donald Trump trying to seed seeds of doubt into this election cycle.
And Keisha, speaking of Trump, he was on the campaign trail in Georgia yesterday. Take a listen to a little bit of what he had to say there.
And I'll tell you what, any African American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala, you got to have your head examined because they are really screwing you. They are really screwing you. Right?
What's your reaction to that?
Well, that's pretty rich from a man who took out a full-page ad to call for the death penalty against 5 innocent young black men. Donald Trump is not the one to lecture people of color about how we vote. And it's going to be important for us to continue to remind people exactly what Donald Trump has not done for people of color in this country. That's the reason we've seen the vice president roll out her policies. We saw it this week, speaking directly to African-American men. And the reality is that we aren't a monolith. People are getting their information in various ways. So it's important that we keep reminding people what's at stake during this election cycle. Just yesterday, I did a press conference with Senators Warnock and Ossoff and the family of Amber Thurman, a young mother who died because of complications of an abortion, because care was delayed for 20 hours, leaving a very young son, and just her family is just devastated. These are the things that are at stake for us in this election cycle.
Keisha, do you buy into this narrative that we see over and over again that black and Latino men are turning away from Harris in record numbers?
You know what I've seen, and I have young people in my household. My youngest son, 14, just said to me the other day that he's getting his YouTube channels flooded with ads from Donald Trump. He said, and Mama, you can't even skip the ads. He said, and they're all terrible things about Kamala Harris. So what I see is that people have been getting a lot of information, misinformation, disinformation. But also, we have to make sure that we are making our case. We can't take for granted any one group of people. Reminding people what Kamala Harris has done for people of color in this country, what she has said she will do when elected. We can't make assumptions about how people will vote. So I believe that people have options this election cycle, and we have to go out and we have to earn those votes and not make assumptions that people are going to be with us because they look a certain way.